welcome back to Desert Oasis Reef. Today is test day. This is one of my favorite tests to do. It's accurate, it is fairly simple to run, and it gives me great results every time. One of the most important things of this test is making sure that when you put it into the tester that the glass is clean. It's free from water, it's free from spots, so I just wipe it off with a microfiber towel. I think the largest complaint from this test is these paper reagents, or the paper that they're in. I found that if you shake all of the reagent to one corner, cut it off along the lines that it says, and then kind of fold it a little bit like I've shown here, creates sort of a funnel that you can then just put straight into the vial, tap it in, make sure you get it all. There's a little bit left. You want to make sure you do get it all. Next, you have to mix for 2 minutes, and I think it's important to actually time yourself on these. They say 2 minutes for a reason, and I like to stick to that. So I don't shake too vigorously, I kind of tilt it back and forth until it's all mixed up. Put it back in the tester, hold it down for about 3 seconds, and you've got your 3-minute timer counting down. And this is where I go about my other tests. So my test syringes, as I'm trying to show you here, the numbers are a little worn off, but I can still see exactly where the 1 is. So that's the point where I go to. It creates quite a big bubble between the plunger and the actual reagent, but that's okay, that's what you're looking for. You want to make sure the plunger is at the point where 1.0 is. I then slowly add it. The first little bit I add fairly quickly, the first maybe 3 or 0.3 cc's, because I know it's not going to change, and then I start slowing it down a little bit. When I get to kind of where I expect it to be, that's when I fine tune it. Here I'm trying to show you, even though it won't come into focus, where the plunger ended. You want to take the number from right where the plunger is, and on the Salifert tests they actually have you go with how much reagent is left, not how much you've used, which is more intuitive. You don't have to do any subtracting. So here we have our results on that, and the phosphate checkers still go. result for the Hanna Phosphate checker, 0.15. Some people would think that's really high. That's actually where my tank likes to sit. I don't chase numbers. I like a consistent number. So I'm good with that. I'm happy with that number. I do use the same syringe for the reagent as I did for the alkalinity. The important thing here is I rinse it out with the tank water just so it gets all cleared out, and then I start again. The Red Sea test is really straightforward for calcium. You add the amounts, you shake it up, and just make sure you pay attention to the amounts and go slowly once you start adding the reagent. Right here you might be questioning what I'm doing. My calcium runs a little bit high. It runs higher than what the Red Sea test actually gives you for 1 mil. So what I do is I add another half a mil to the syringe and start adding it too until the color changes. It is my way of finding out what the amount is, even if the test kit doesn't quite it limits out basically. So I found that you can do this with most any test, and it seems to work for me. Again, I don't chase numbers per se, I chase consistency. So even though my calcium is a little bit high, it stays at that level and nothing seems too upset about it. So that's what I stick to. The Red Sea Nitrate test I have found to be a little bit burdensome, but it's the most accurate of any that I've found. Again, consistency is key. The most problematic thing is that it takes, once you add all the reagents, it takes 9 minutes to actually run. So a lot of times I will start this one and then do another test while it's running. here my OCD kind of comes in and I start cleaning things up. I don't like having too many test kits out at one time, because that's where you start to mix up what reagents go to what when you just start grabbing. Early on, I had mixed them up and it turns into a mess. So make sure you clean up your stuff kind of in between, so you don't get inundated with too many tests out and open. So. I don't test my magnesium very often. I've not found it to be super sensitive in my tank, so I just don't test for it very often. I figured while the nitrate test was running, I might as well just do it though. So here I go testing magnesium, which is another burdensome test, but the most accurate from what I've found. I've ran the Salifert before, and this is just easier to read for me. The hardest part of this test is that the first reagent, you have to add 1 drop, mix for 15 seconds. 1 drop, mix for 15 seconds. And it really needs to actually be that way. You can't rush it. For the accuracy, it just needs to happen that way. Magnesium runs a little high as well. It actually goes higher than the card says. It doesn't take a whole mil, but it takes pretty close to it. So I just do the math on the card and I get my number. Here I'm trying to show you where the plunger ended. Even though it looks like you used all the reagent, make sure you read off of the number on the bottom of, on the bottom of the plunger. What I found with this test too is that if you wait a few seconds, it'll go back to being slightly purple. So if that happens, I'll add another drop and then calculate it off of that. Still waiting on the nitrate test to finish running. It's pretty close at this point, but this just kind of gives me an opportunity to clean up and get everything back to where it was. So that's my testing day. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, if there was something I didn't cover, please comment below and I'll be quick to respond to you. And if I need to correct something, I will definitely make a new video for it.